Hey everybody, I'm Jay, and this is 432 Matters Anniversary Edition. As we enter 7 years of ministry here at the Common, I would like to remind everyone that 432 matters. And today, I have the opportunity to sit down with some very special people so they can share with you why 432 matters to them. Would you all like to introduce yourselves?
My name is Alicia.
My name is Matthew McBride.
My name is Justin.
And I'm Jay. So I'm going to start with asking Alicia a few questions. Do you mind sharing a testimony on how life was for you before the Common?
So my life before the Common, I'll start with childhood. Before I was even born, my mother, she couldn't really afford to have 2 children. And there's multiple different factors that played into her trying to get rid of me multiple times. But God kept sending her messengers to keep her baby. And he provided everything she needed for the whole first entire year of my life. She didn't have to buy Pampers, wipes, milk, nothing. And so after that, as a child, I grew up in church Sunday to Sunday, but I never had a relationship with God for myself. I got to a point when I was around maybe 16 or 17 where I completely wrote God off. I felt like I believed that he was real, but I didn't really care. I didn't care to seek God. I didn't care to pray. I didn't care to read my Bible. But life hit me hard enough at the age of 20, and I decided to get back into church via my auntie. I came into the Common not expecting much, and every sermon I came to, I felt as though God was drilling directly to me. So then I stayed in, and this is the first place to where I felt like I had a relationship with God. My pastor cares about your heart. He doesn't just care about if you show up, but he cares about if you care about God, if you talk to God. So that was basically my life before the Common.
That is really something to say you have a true call on your life. And you said that you didn't really care for the religion at first. So I always believe you are where you're meant to be. So you said life hit you hard. So I believe you did get to a position and now you are where you're meant to be. And I know you said your auntie is who bought you. So that's what drew you to the Common.
Yeah, absolutely.
After life got hard.
Yep.
Okay. So since you've been here at the Common, do you have any insight on how it's impacted you spiritually and where you believe you are now as a follower of Christ?
Spiritually, it's definitely impacted me. I've never been this close to God ever in my life, even from going to church Sunday to Sunday. I've never had a relationship. I've never had a relationship with God to where I would feel bad if I haven't read my Bible, or I would feel bad if I didn't take time out of the day to pray to God. So spiritually, I'm definitely way beyond where I've ever reached before.
That is good. That is really good. We should strive to be more like you, Alicia. She said she feels bad. That's really good. That is a place where you need to be. If you're not doing certain things, you should be on yourself. I do feel that that's really good. So being that we are coming up on our 7-year mark, well, that we are at our 7-year mark, is there anything you'd like to see more from the Common?
Yeah, I would definitely like to see more of kind of like the summit we had. I feel like that was really good for us relationship-wise and just furthering our faith in God. And also maybe probably doing more of the fasting. I feel like that was also helpful for us as well. So I would like to see more of that from us.
Okay, thank you so much, Alicia.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Matthew and Mr. Justin, are you all able to share some insight on how life was for you all before the Common, or just before you started your journey?
I guess I'll go first since I came here first. My life before the Common was, I won't say the opposite of what it is now. It's just I wasn't anywhere near where I am now. I did not go to church. My grandparents went to church, so I went when I was younger, but as I got older, my parents fell away from church, I fell away from church, so it didn't register for me. I did not start going back to church until I met my now wife. She was the one that would constantly ask me, you should come to church, you should come to church, you should come to church.
And she should.
And I took her up on it, so I went a few times. It was like, but somewhere around 16 is where the word just started penetrating this rough heart.
Oh, it happened for you young.
I know.
That's good.
And I was mad about it. I was hot because I was just like, anybody else I know,
Yeah, it's not.
they
They're a little bit older. Go through a little more life.
They coast and they get to live and do the stuff that, I grew up hearing you're supposed to do. And then
Yeah.
I get hit early, like, nah, you need to focus. You need to
Buckle down.
buckle down. You need to do right by this. Because I sent her to you. And from there, like, my walk with God became my own. So I was able to start reading my own Bible, look into the word for myself. And I actually met Roger through the wedding. So he officiated my uncle's wedding, and he said he would start the church. So that's how I got to where I am now, and God just hasn't stopped. The more that I say yes, the more he piles on me.
Yeah.
So I'm born and raised in Memphis, grew up in Hickory Hill. My family's from Jackson, Tennessee. So when we moved here when I was 1, I grew up understanding that God was important, right? So going to church, spending time there, understanding my parents teaching me tithing, earn money, whatever. I always give a portion to Christ. I appreciate them for that. But it was a few things that I guess kind of were missing. So before I got to the Common, like I said, I attended church. I grew up going to Olivet on Knight Arnold. Then we transitioned to Brown Baptist in South Haven. So I attended service. I felt like I was spiritually fed, thinking about those things, but I never opened the Bible.
Yes.
I never had anybody walk with me to show me how do you have a relationship. In my time at University of Memphis, I remember 2017, I pretty much hit a wall. It was almost like a limiter. It's like on the cars, they have the max miles per hour that they'll go, even though some people think they go faster. I had maxed out. And it was just simple things. It was just like, I felt like I had my hands on the wheel, but I couldn't get to where I was trying to get. I was feeling anxious. I was depressed. I just felt bad. So like, just felt bad. And then I just remember it's like, all right, I'm done doing this my way. I wouldn't say I was doing anything, too crazy, but I wasn't choosing him. So I was in my truck studying for a final, and then I can't even remember if I said something first or he said something first. I had my window, I think I left my window down. And I just asked him a question. It was about some dating advice. He told me the best advice I ever took, like, never stop dating your person through relationship, engagement, marriage, and that always stuck with me. And then a year later, I started interning at the city of Memphis engineering. And when I got brought in, they took me back to the cubicle where I was gonna be at. Guess who was in that cubicle? He was in this cubicle. So that was God. Obviously, it was Christ. It was Him.
Yeah.
So we're working. We're doing what we do. I'm assisting Him and what we do for the city. But we got to talk about we got to walk together for a whole year, and that was discipleship. And I didn't know that. I always was tip my hat to my dad because he showed me how to do so many things with my hand. I would go to YouTube and watch the video how to change this, how to fix this. I did that, and I got a chance to do that through him. With how do you have a relationship with God? I don't know. I want to know though. So he taught me, showed me how it went, but then it was in my control of actually doing it. Staying in the word, and then obviously he invited me to a Bible study when I first started the internship. So then I started coming to church. I started learning about the word. I started understanding how to study. I got to be here with the Common, the Broderick and the whole team, everybody. They taught me how to do it. And the tools that they taught me, I've been using to this day. The image, the impression, the, impact, and then imprint. Like, all those things happen to me. I use them every day. I haven't been attending the Common, but I've still been executing those things they taught me. Discipleship, the Great Commission, the commission of everything. And if not for the Common, I wouldn't be who I am today. Literally, I would not. So that's kind of my story. And then one thing I want to mention, because I thought of it, I'm big into analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Before you meet Christ, or before you have him, it's a living relationship. It'll be like a phone that's dead. Like, you can't do nothing if you don't charge your phone up. Like, literally nothing. Can't do anything. Any of the functions, the potential, the abilities that phone has, if it's not charged up, it's not going to work. But as soon as you plug in, that's similar. Once you plug into Christ, it's going to be like a rush. And that's what people have to do, is just that plug up, understanding how to do it, having somebody walk with you, and then when you get it, grab somebody else and you do the same with them. And then they get it, and you just spread it. Sorry. I live with Mom.
No, you're good. I feel like I can relate to you, Matthew, the most. You say you were raised in church. I was too. My parents had me in church every Sunday, old school church. Wednesday we there. Sunday we there. We fasted often, prayer before Bible study. And when they pray, and they 2 hours long praying before we even get to it. And so I wasn't quite as young as you, Justin. When I finally built a more personal relationship with God, it was like you. I was in college. And I would like to say, because I was raised in church, it's like I always knew the answer. I knew where to go when times got bad. But it wasn't until life kind of hit me. It's like, okay, I know the answer. Let me go to the answer. Mm-hmm. And after college, I kind of fell back. God was with me. I was doing good. Then I got back home. I went out to college in another city. Mm-hmm. When I got back home, I was grown now. I'm like, I want to party. I want to have fun. So I kind of fell off. And then, like all three of us, someone drew us here. So I think it's the power of the draw. Mm-hmm. I got back in church because my pastor passed away while I was going to college. So when I got back home, I didn't have a church home. So I was drawn in through someone too. And I got the Common made me more involved with my faith, and I enjoyed that because previously I wasn't necessarily involved like that. So now I feel better that I'm more involved and being able to practice out loud more. It feels good. Mm-hmm. So, and Justin, you said your wife now is who brought you in. And Justin brought you in, so it's like a little ladder almost.
And then, if I may, I didn't mention this.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you knew her before.
Right. Yeah. So, I went to school with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So, we went to school in middle school. We were in the band and everything.
Oh, wow.
And that just...
Everyone comes in your life for a reason.
Yes, that just made it because, he came to work with her. Hey, man, my wife. Like, man, who your wife? He was like, bro, Rakita. I'm like, yeah, we was in a band. Yeah, so it's just, God is great, man. It's all him.
All right. So, do you all have, during your time at the Common, is there anything that you enjoyed the most? Or anything that stuck out the most to you?
You don't go or you can go? I just enjoyed the hands-on. I think one thing about me, when I was at the Common, when I reflect, I said yes to a lot of things. I said yes to helping out with this and this ministry because I hadn't done it before, and I felt like, well, hey, I'm willing, so let me help. So looking back, I think I should have not been as involved in so many things instead of just focusing on one thing. But I probably would say my favorite part specifically was the youth ministry. I love the youth. I love the kids. I don't know. I feel like I'm a big kid. That's why I get along with, whatever. But I get along well with them. But outside of that, I just enjoyed the intentionalness. I can't speak.
Intentionality.
The intentionality of the common, just being hands-on and one-on-one. Let's go get some lunch, or let's just do whatever. Like, remember,
Family.
we went through the Cherokee area and was knocking on doors, and for me, it was like I wasn't scared, but it was like, it's different.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some things I enjoy. Like, I really enjoy it.
I probably piggyback off of him. What I enjoyed the most about what we do is it's not the traditional. I mentioned like my grandparents went to church. The way they did church, it was suit and tie, no dress below the knee, kitten heels, and all. Like it was.
Gotta get pulled to the side. Hey now.
Yeah, like you come in, like they're gonna make fun of you because you're young. Look at them falling asleep up there. Come on, man. Like I'm 8.
Put the games away.
Yeah.
Because we had games. We weren't on the phone. We was on the Nintendo in church.
Like with the volume down.
Yeah.
But nah, it was. What we do here is non-traditional. It's church how it should be. It's uncommon, but it's what we should all have in common. Like everybody puts their hand on the work. Everybody gets involved. Nobody's too far out there to be reached. We would go do things that most people didn't think of. So that's what I enjoyed, and I had people around, and everybody was on one accord. There was no cliques over here, let's do this instead. No, everybody was on the same thing. We were all just trying to fulfill God's mission. So.
All right, thank you all so much for coming out today and sharing those stories with me. And this has been
432 Matters.
Anniversary Edition. Happy 7 years to the Common.
Woo!